friends, welcome back. My name is Ramon. How are you today? So CosRX is a famous K-beauty brand. Undeniably, it holds a very large place in the US's K-beauty market. I would argue that it was actually the gateway for a lot of us to get into K-beauty, honestly, by discovering CosRX's products. I know their Aloe Soothing Sun Cream is actually one of their best-selling products, and it's one that's been spoken of for a very long time in the skinfluencer world. But did you know they had other sunscreen options? Because I didn't. And with that, we're going to be talking about one of them specifically today, and it's going to be the CosRX Snail Essence Sun SPF50 PA++++. Only 3 pluses this time. But before I get into it, I'm going to ask that you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you know when I post more skincare, sunscreen, fancy related content on my channel. Give this video a thumbs up, and then down below in the comments, tell me, have you used any of the other CosRX sunscreens? Tell me which ones are your favorites. And also, before I get into the video, if you're down and you're willing to support, check the description box for the link to my Patreon account. Please, if you can, and it's within your means, consider donating to my sunscreen fund. I fund pretty much all of my sunscreen reviews out of my own pocket, this one included, bought with my own money. And I get a lot of requests from you guys to try out all these different sunscreens, and as much as I want to try them all, I don't got that kind of budget, so please consider donating if you can. So now back to the sunscreen. Arguably, one of CosRX's most popular, most best-selling products is their Snail Mucin Essence. Honestly, it's one of my all-time holy grail favorite essences. And Snail Mucin in itself is a really hot ingredient in Korea. It's known for being super hydrating, reparative to the skin, offering some antioxidant benefits to it. And so with this sunscreen, the Snail Essence Sun, they're really taking advantage of that ingredient in the form of a sunscreen, which I actually have yet to see. And with that, they're offering a really lightweight and hydrating sunscreen option. Looking back at the Aloe Soothing Sun Cream, I love that sunscreen. It's a really great option, but sometimes, depending on the season and your skin type, it can be a little too rich, a little bit too emollient. And so something like this seems very promising, especially since CosRX deems this one specifically for oily and more acne-prone skin, and I'm really excited to see if this could be a hit for summertime. Story behind this, I was shopping a little K-beauty boutique here in Shoreditch in a little store called, I think it's called 1 at 8, and they have a really cute little assortment of K-beauty products, and we were looking, and I was like, is that sunscreen from CosRX? And they had it right next to the Aloe Soothing Sun Cream, and I didn't know CosRX had other sunscreen options, so I bought this one along with its sister product. This one I'll have a review of very soon. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when it goes live. How I do my chemical sunscreen reviews, I do my 6 F's chemical sunscreen rubric where I talk about the feel, finish, filters, formulation, foundation wear, and fragrance of the sunscreen. Wrap it up with my final thoughts. In the application footage you're going to see on screen, you'll see me apply a 1/4 teaspoon of this to cover my face, my ears, and neck. Work it in, let it set for at least 5 minutes before I go on top of it with my makeup. After a while, I'll go and reapply the sunscreen on top of the makeup just because I really enjoy how chemical sunscreens reapply and I want to see how it's going to work. So let's get into it. First F is feel. And with this one, what really caught me off guard and what I really loved about it is that this disappears into the skin. This is a super lightweight gel lotion texture that just works into the skin like magic, and it leaves you with a light as air hydrating finish. You don't feel this on the skin. You can't even tell you're really wearing anything, honestly, but it's nice and hydrating enough that you really feel like a plush burst of hydration. Your skin feels very nourished and you feel very hydrated. I could argue that it sets down instantly. You can see within 60 seconds it's already gone off my hand. I can't even feel that it's there. I will say this does not burn or irritate or agitate around my eye area at all. Next F is going to be the finish, and again, you can see after this set down, you can't tell it's really there. At most, it leaves a slightly present like radiance, glow, suppleness to the skin, but it doesn't have a lot of emolliency to it. This really sets down and it just gives you a very matte, semi-radiant finish. It doesn't leave you shiny, doesn't have a greasy finish to it at all. So I can definitely see why they're targeting this more towards oily skin, especially more acne-prone skin, and I really want to see how this wears during the summer because I can't feel this on my skin, and I know during high humidity that's a big factor with sunscreens, and I imagine this would go very positively in that environment. Next F is going to be filters, and filters for this is actually a very simple cocktail of sunscreen filters. You got homosalate, octocrylene, octosalate, and avobenzone. So basically it's all of the OG US approved sunscreen filters. I love me an octocrylene avobenzone combination. The octocrylene just gives a nice little bump in that UVB UVA2 range to really amp up and amplify a little bit of the sun protection you're going to get. But most importantly, it stabilizes avobenzone, so you really get the most fortified and the most out of UVA protection. But I will say, you got all these filters, and again, you have octocrylene, you got avobenzone, which again, avobenzone is a really great full spectrum UVA filter. I just want to know why it's only PA3 pluses when it could be a 4 plus. I generally like a little bit of a higher UVA rating, especially for this kind of price point. I'm not mad at it though. This is a very good everyday sunscreen. I find that a lot of people put a lot of stress, a little bit too much of an emphasis in super high UVA protection. As long as you're reapplying, you're taking other sunscreen measures, I'm not totally mad at that. Looking at the rest of the formulation and the highlights, going on the product claims first, this basically claims to hydrate the skin in a lightweight, nourishing, and non-greasy way. You have the snail mucin and something called nymphaea flower extract, which is going to soothe and reduce irritation and redness in the skin. And it's also intended, again, specifically for acne-prone skin. skin. Looking at what the ingredients list includes, you have panthenol and allantoin. Great ingredients for really soothing skin. They're really great anti-inflammatory ingredients, but more so they're good for replenishing and strengthening the skin barrier. You also got hyaluronic acid, sodium hyaluronate, as well as hydrolyzed hyaluronic acid, really giving you nice rich hydration in a really supple way. And then you have something called pycnogenol, probably mispronouncing that, which is a antioxidant, has some anti-inflammatory benefits, and something else about it is that it has a complementary role in sunscreens, specifically in helping to fortify some of the photoprotective values. And then some last formulation callouts. This does have alcohol, but again, it's not irritating. That's just one of the qualities that helps it set down so quickly. But it does also have bergamot, orange peel, and basil oil, which we'll get to in a bit. Next is foundation wear, and let me tell you, potentially one of the most positive, most bestest experience around foundation I've had with a sunscreen in a minute. I would argue that this compares to the Biore Athlysm, which I reviewed within this last month. I would say, looking at my face, my foundation was like married to my skin. It just looked like it was all one. This looked so seamless. The blend was beautiful. The finish was amazing. The overall look was amazing. I had no weird texture issues. It just looked like my skin. The re-app, I had to look at the footage again because I completely forgot, but it was actually a very positive reapplication experience. Again, what I love about this sunscreen's texture is that it's light as water. It just melts into the skin. So going on top of my makeup with the air cushion and the sunscreen, I did a few little pats. It was gone and melted in. I was left with a little bit of radiance, but again, usually if I'm reapplying sunscreen, if I'm out in high UV index, that tells me that it's probably hot. I'm gonna get oily. I get oily period all the time. So I'll generally have something to blot away some excess shine, reset my face. I wouldn't see that little bit of excess radiance with your application as an issue. Overall, really positive reapplication experience. So foundation wear, overall, A+++++. Then the last F, fragrance. Yes. When I first tried this on, the first thought I had was licorice. And then looking at the ingredients list, I was like, oh, you get a really nice balance. I say really nice, but that's very subjective. A really nice balance of the basil and the orange peel oil together. And it has a scent that's present. It's not overpowering. It doesn't linger throughout the day. But even my boyfriend was like, oh, this has a smell to it. What is that smell? My boyfriend says it smells like salad dressing. I don't find it to be too overpowering, too unpleasant. I think it dissipates after a minute or two of application. You don't feel it throughout the day. You don't smell it throughout the day, but it do got fragrance. So final thoughts on the CosRX Snail Essence Sun. This low-key might be a new holy grail. This rivals one of my all-time favorite sunscreens, the Same's Eco Earth Power Sun Gel. Rivals as well the Biore Athlysm, which is also honestly one of my favorites of this year so far, in that it's super lightweight. It's nourishing enough on my skin that I can use this as a moisturizer and it nicely hydrates my skin, but it's so lightweight, I can barely tell it's on. Looks great with makeup, and I really want to see how this performs in the summertime. This doesn't claim to have any water resistance to it like the Biore Athlysm one does, but this low-key was a banger. High-key was a banger, actually. I'd say the main difference is this doesn't have as much of that alcohol quality that is part of the Biore experience. This is also, I think, a little bit more of like a nourishing texture to it. And it's a testament to how much I like this. I usually try these sunscreens for a few days before I actually film any review, and within the first day I was like, oh, this is good. She's a winner. So is this Ramon recommended? 100%. So looking at the price of this next and looking at the overall value of this is the standard 50 ml sunscreen that you're gonna get. The price varies substantially. Again, I bought this here in London at a K-beauty boutique for about £20, I believe. Looking online, you can get it at places like Stylevana, Feel Unique, Style Korean, and here in London, there's a retailer called Pure Soul, and it varies. Pound-wise, it's in the high teens to low 20s. USD, I found it from about 20 to 25. So it's very mid-tier. If you are looking for an option like this, I think it's a really good option for especially first application. It's mid-tier, not the best value of all time, but I love this sunscreen and definitely would reconsider purchasing it. And with that, that's my final thoughts on the Snail Essence Sun SPF50+, PA++++. It was a really great sunscreen experience. Exploring more of CosRX's options was really exciting to me because again, I didn't know that other options existed and the experience was very positive. Now, the sister I have over here, this is their All Green Comfort Sun. It's a mineral sunscreen. This review is coming very soon, so please stay tuned. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you know when it goes live. But definitely with this one, I do recommend highly. It was a really great experience. I wish it was a little bit more affordable, but with sales and especially my discount codes in my description box, check them out. You can definitely get this for a little bit of a better price point so it doesn't hurt as much to buy it. But make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you know when I post more skincare, sunscreen, and Fenty related content on my channel. Leave the video a thumbs up. And again, down in the comments below, again, have you tried either of the other CosRX options? How do you compare them to the Aloe Soothing Sun Gel? Are there more sunscreen from CosRX I'm not aware of? Please let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.